from up here, you can really see that we are actually just down that canyon that's down the side of Firelink Shrine. In fact, I believe that tree is actually the Firelink Shrine tree. And the wall that you come up against with all those huge buttresses is the original architecture that these vines appear to have grown out of. Lots of people kindling that bonfire today. I'm going to try to get a few more good looks around at the scenery around here, because this is one of the best areas for really getting a good feel for the interconnectedness of this whole area. Because as you may have figured out by now, we are actually heading back out all the way back to Firelink. Oh, come on, don't get stuck on these ledges here. This is a very dangerous bridge, because if you fall off, you die. And it's very easy to fall off. I don't recommend it. Let's see if we can't pop over this way. We get the Mask of the Sealer and the Crimson set, along with the Tin Banishment Catalyst. Off of a random corpse here. Interesting. We also pick up the Sorcery Remedy. The proximity of these two is not coincidental. Jesus. That said, I'm probably not going to read those, the description of that gear until we get to a bit of a safer place that doesn't have these damn bugs in it. Pop our way up here. Oh, actually, there is a route there that I can take. Well, see you later, buddy. Isn't there? Maybe? Oh, there's the route the other way that leads to the set. Never mind, I'm... Whoops! Hello. This is a bit of an awkward place to fight this guy. It's probably a good thing that we only had one enemy to fight there. It is worth noting that if you did not clear out that poison area here, all the time that you're walking out here, you will be shot at by toxic guys, so that's a bonus of having completed that. Dead end. This area is a bit weird because there's a bunch of side paths that go nowhere when you really just want... At least I thought there was a ladder up here. There is a way up here that I'm having trouble finding, and suddenly I realized that it's actually completely different. This is a side path. Whoops! I got turned around again. On the plus side, we are free of things, so... Let's take a look at these crimson robes. Robe of the sorcerers who flooded New Londo to seal away the dark wraiths, and the four kings who descended into dark. The sealers were once known as healers, and the bright crimson was a symbol of that. I want to say that's the same description on everything. Let's check. Because this has given us lore for an area... for an area that we haven't been to yet. Mask of the Sealers who flooded New Londo to keep the night. It symbolizes the resolve to keep the seal shut forever and their atonement for all who were sacrificed. But two of the three forsook New Londo upon tiring of their duty. And the rest of these are just, yeah. Usually the headpiece will have something special and the rest of them will have very similar descriptions, as you can see from this. And let's see if there's anything interesting on the Tin Banishment Catalyst. Catalyst of the Banishment Sorcerers who flooded New Londo. In contrast to other catalysts, the metal catalyst qualifies as a weapon, and it inflicts physical damage, however small. So you get this sort of interesting little story about the casters here who came here, or about the casters in New Londo. And it mentions the fact that two of them forsook their duty. You can already you can basically see from the fact that we found this armor set in Blighttown and not New Londo that this was the ultimate fate of one of them. And their name was Yulva. Sorcery of the Red-Robed Yulva, one of the sealers of New Londo. Reduce bleeding and poison built up, and undo various poisonous effects. One of New Londo's unique healing sorceries. Perhaps she abandoned her sealer duty to take her healing arts back to Blighttown. This is also absolutely fantastic incidental storytelling. So, you get all of these pieces of gear that have little bits and pieces of this. And this one, A, gives you a name of one of these people, the Red-Robed Yulva. And it also mentions healing arts back to Blighttown, which kind of implies that they originally came from Blighttown in the first place. So, as we'll see going back up this area here, the Blighttown and New Londo are very closely connected. You might even it's probably not even a stretch. God, you have to run on that. It's probably not even a stretch to say that they were likely considered to be the same city or fairly well known to each other. It's really embarrassing that I'm having so much trouble figuring out how to go up here when the actual way up is, I want to say, just right over here. Yeah, there's a ladder over there. God. Whoops. It's just such a confusing. So you get this sense that Blighttown was once an area that was more connected with New Londo ruins and perhaps the whole society that had developed in Lordran on this side of the walls, you know? Because if this sealer came from Blighttown originally and then returned to it with a cleansing magic, it really does imply that this whole swamp thing is not the natural way of things here. That this basically showed up at some point. So there's a lot of entirely environmental, entirely, what am I trying to say? Entirely item-based storytelling here. We grab the key to New Londo ruins, which will serve us well very soon, and of course it's a key, so... Key to the iron bars separating the ruins of New Londo and Drake Valley. The ruins of New Londo were blocked off, for the cursed ghosts posed danger to life and spirit, and the legends speak of a terrible dark, which was sealed away. So this also tells you that while you may have thought Blighttown was the area that you would defend New Londo from, it turns out it's not quite that way. So, We'll leave that for now, but let's go onwards. Our final combat challenge of this whole thing is more big dudes. We haven't seen them in a while, so... Nope. Your roars will only get you killed, friend. There we go. Of course, there wouldn't just be one of them. This is another combat encounter that you really want to take slow and steady because you can very easily aggro all three of these guys. And if you do that, you're gonna have a bad time. Oh dear. Ooh, I am sort of surprised that I actually managed that. One way to kind of cheese an encounter like this is to abuse the hell out of iframes. I kind of recommend it. Because if not, you're going to have some difficulties. You also want to be very liberal about changing your lock-on to make sure that you can always see both of them, or all three if you've aggroed all three of them. Hello. Let's get those chains going. You start to get very good at figuring out how to cheese certain enemies and encounters as you play this game a lot. There we go. For our hard-earned efforts, we get a dung pie. Did I ever even look at this? I mean, it's poop. It's just poop. Show me the poop. I want to read the description of the poop. Atrocious fecal waste material. Throw it at enemy to build up toxins, but also it builds up your own toxicity. Although the stench makes it difficult to carry on one's person, turning an enemy toxic inflicts high damage over a period of time. So there is actually a not very well-known strategy that dung pies will inflict toxic on you, but it will be a much less dangerous version of toxic than what the dart blowers inflict. And as we saw with the poison in the swamps, if you're already poison or toxic, you can't actually build up more toxic. So you poison yourself with poop, and then you will make it so that you're actually immune to the even worse poison you get from the dart blowers. It's a neat little trick, but I do kind of wish the game had like mentioned it. It honestly kind of feels like an exploit. Large soul of a nameless soldier, and key to New Londo ruins. So I guess we're gonna find our way to New Londo whether we like it or not. But we're not gonna stick here very long because we have other places to go. I'm gonna grab this. It's just a soul of a nameless soldier. You will notice that we're getting much smaller souls than we had been getting for a while. And the reason for that is that this is actually an area you can go to from the very beginning of the game. By taking an elevator. I believe this is the first time we've seen an elevator like this. Won't be the last, though. I recognize that music. Welcome back to Firelink Shrine. You may have noticed that next to the Firekeeper, there was a stairway that I was deliberately not taking. And here's the reason. That said, we have a Firekeeper's soul. Let's take a look at these. Worn by the Firekeeper at Firelink Shrine, it is thought to have once been the white robe of a maiden, but smoke and ashes from bonfires have darkened it over the years. Yep. Oh, bloodstained skirt has a slightly different description. Worn by the Firekeeper at Firelink Shrine, it is thought to have once been white, but perhaps. But its true origin is lost in patches of blood. Perhaps the former wearer was maimed to prevent escape. Ugh. And then lastly, we have an orb. I believe it's up here. Yep. Black Eye Orb. Mystical orb found on a Firekeeper's corpse. Invade the world of the murderer of a Firekeeper to defeat the perpetrator and reclaim the soul of the Firekeeper. The Black Eye keeps constant watch on the city of the gods, on Orlando. So, our Firekeeper is dead. And Mr. Stare at our Firekeeper isn't here anymore. And our fire is out. Well, that's a problem.
Ah, your face. You're practically hollow. But who knows? Going hollow could solve quite a bit.
Not sure if I showed off, but if you talk to him in different states of, aliveness, he will make different comments.
What? Restoring your humanity? Well, there are a few ways to go about it. Collect it bit by bit from corpses. Or you can butter up a cleric and get yourself summoned. And the quickest way, although I never do it, is to kill a healthy undead and pillage its humanity. Coveting thy neighbor is only human, after all.
Yeah, I think you can get this whole set of conversations regardless. Like, if you visit him at any time while you're super hollowed.
What are you looking at? Don't try anything clever. You might regret it.
Anything else?
Have you been to the ruins of New Londo below? Just
Briefly.
head down the stairs and take the lift. It's certainly worth a visit. It was once an undead city. You may find a clue or two, unless the ghosts find you first.
Boy, he has a lot of random talk that we could get from him.
Oh, have you seen that terribly morose lass? The Firekeeper. She's stuck keeping that bonfire lit. Sad, really. She's mute and bound to this forsaken place. They probably cut her tongue out back in her village, so that she'd never say any god's name in vain. How do these martyrs keep chugging along? I'd peter out in an instant.
Boy, and that was definitely a much earlier comment, considering her current state.
What now? I'm not up for chatting. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I don't think he ever comments on the bonfire being dead. It's kind of weird. Anyway. Well, since we can't use this bonfire... Hello again, Petrus. Anything you got?
Hello. Miracles, I presume?
Nope, didn't think so. Did I ever get the Thurl? Did I ever check the Thurlin Talisman? I don't think I ever checked anything from him. Medium for casting Miracles of the Gods. This talisman is only granted to high-ranking Thurlin clerics. Has high miracle adjust, which, thanks to divine protection, is not dependent on faith. So there is an interesting thing with the fact that he sells this Thurlin Talisman, and actually, I'm reasonably certain he doesn't have it when you first encounter him here. I'll have to check that to make entirely sure, so expect a subtitle over this to prove me wrong, but I'm pretty sure this only appears again after
Come again.
he's
The effectiveness
returned
of
alone.
the teachings depend upon your faith.
Which sort of has implications. Anyway, we don't have a bonfire to spend these souls at, so I guess we're gonna have to make our way over to the parish to do that. Might as well visit Andre anyway with our new shards. Alright, so in order to turn something divine, you need a something +5 or higher. So we're going to want to push something up to +5 to use it, because I'm not going to put it on the Bastard Sword. I would much rather keep the Bastard Sword as a regular sword and just use it like normal. And then I am also going to want to start pumping shards into the Eagle Shield. So you'll notice the stability of this is 70, which I want to say is already a lot higher than our Caduceus Shield +6. I think it's currently +5, but it's even higher than a +6. So let's get purchasing. This will be enough to start off. This is also a reason why I'm carrying so many souls right now, just to have enough to throw all of my stuff into this. Let's push the Eagle Shield up as much as we can. You'll notice we're up to 72 durability. 73. There we go. So +5 gives us 73%. Believe if we push it even further, yeah, if you ascend it like this, it gets a huge boost, so we're going to do that as well. And then we're going to pick a weapon. That we will want to use in a different area. This Morning Star. Huh, someone was saying that did... I'm gonna have to check what skeletons are weak to, because I thought someone said that they weren't weak to the Morning Star, but it does do strike damage, which is what I thought was what skeletons are weak to. Give me a moment. Alright then, I guess I will go with this as my divine weapon. Who doesn't love clerical weapons anyway? So we want to pump this all the way up to +5, which will then give us the option to turn it into a divine Morning Star. You'll notice that that just takes it directly out and puts it back into our regular item list. But you do have to use green Titanite shards for it, so... You'll notice that it now has lower physical attack than it had before, but it does do magic attack, and it also has the auxiliary effect of doing divine damage, which is going to be very useful in a certain upcoming area. Yeah, let's make it Divine Morning Star +3. Ah, fuck it. Live a little. +4. And then, since we're here, and since I enjoy playing Fashion Souls, I think I am going to put a few more Titanite shards into this. You'll notice that this set is special and takes Twinkling Titanite. That means it can only upgrade up to 5. Let's get our dingy robe on. So this one just takes regular Titanite. There we go. It's also worth noting that armor upgrades completely separately from weapons. All armor only goes up to +10 and will automatically scale up to needing large Titanite shards and eventually Titanite chunks as you go up. So +3 is as much as you can upgrade an armor without large Titanite.
Don't get yourself killed. Neither of us want to see you go hollow.
Well, with your help. So as you saw from the upgrading, armor upgrades are just an all-around-the-board upgrade on every stat. So you'll notice that a +3 will almost always be entirely better than all but much heavier unupgraded weapons. Or unupgraded armor. So like, even if you look at the hard leather armor here, it's worse in basically every way than this dingy little thing that we had. And even the Elite Knight armor has better stats, but not, like, ridiculously better stats. And plus, let's get a good look at this. I just really like this robe. So, we'll keep it for a bit. And I guess I don't have much else. This is definitely the point in the game where you should be able to get or farm enough spare souls to start upgrading your armor. Which actually reminds me that I never bought smith boxes from Andre. So like, this is really the point that I would start doing it, personally.
Well, I don't. You need it.
Not repair, but purchase. You still have the weapon and armor smith box that I never bothered to buy. And I guess since we're here, fuck it. So yeah, those two items will allow us to just upgrade things anywhere.
Neither of us want to see you go hollow.
That is, as long as you're at a bonfire. It works literally the same way as regular enhancement. Let's see. I think I'll keep the Elite Knight leggings on just to have that little extra armor, so let's pump some shards into that.